Welcome to this week's Charlie's Cavalry Coaches Show. Later in today's show, we'll honor our Student Athlete of the Week and be joined by head women's basketball coach Jessica Smith. But now, we're joined by Chargers head coach Pete Rossmondo. So, Coach, coming off a tight 44-35 victory over Merrimack, what was your biggest takeaway from this Saturday's game?
Our takeaway was just our perseverance. You know, our defense did a great job in the second half of really coming to play, shut them out in the second half. Offense, anyway. I know they scored a special teams touchdown, but our team just really persevered and played through some really tough weather in the second half and was able to gain the lead. And then once we gained it, we really never gave it back. Right,
and for those of us that were listening, you know, we heard it was relatively clear in the first half, but in the second half, the weather really came into play. And did that really affect the game?
Oh, it didn't really affect us, so we were able to throw the ball, and it affects the center quarterback exchange maybe a little bit more. We had a couple of bad shotgun snaps. Just it's tough to grip the ball when it gets slick like that, and that was probably the biggest the biggest difficulty. Other than that, we just ran the offense.
In this game, we saw Mike DeCaro as more of a receiving option than in any other game we saw this season. Why was that?
Most of it was just due to Ryan's patience and his ability to see the entire field, and our offensive line's protection, where he could get down to that third option.
Merrimack's front seven was a very athletic and very talented group. How do you think your offensive line worked against them?
I think they did a great job. We gave up, really what I would call one sack where we got beat man on man. One sack was just a bust on the offensive line. Guy went the wrong way, and nobody blocked their defensive tackle, and he sacked Ryan. And the other one was a coverage sack. It was just really good coverage down the field, and Ryan had to hold the ball longer than he wanted to.
Special teams has been a real strength of your team the last couple of weeks, and they came up again with a huge play right before the half, blocking a field goal that would have given Merrimack a 31-17 lead, and instead it gave your offense a chance and make it 28-24 heading into the halftime locker room. Talk about the momentum shift that gave you guys going into halftime.
Oh, anytime you make a big play like that, it's a tremendous shift in momentum. I mean, our guys were feeling really good about themselves going into halftime, and I think, they were thinking, hey, we really played well, and we only have a 4-point lead. What just happened?
Well, when Artis Holt took back the opening kickoff to begin the second half for a touchdown, I thought that gave them a whole lot of momentum back in that game. But again, your offense and your defense, both sides of the ball just persevered through it and just continued to play the game.
Yeah, we just kept pounding, and we just kept pounding, and eventually it started to work in our favor. And even after that, we came out in offensive series, went 3-and-out, and our defense went on the field, shut them out. They went 3-and-out, or maybe they went 4-and-out, and then we were able to get a drive going, get a score, get back within 4 points, and really put us in good position the rest of the way.
In the first half of the game, Merrimack ran for 120 yards. They had 3 different players rush for at least 40 yards, though they finished the game with just 116 on the ground. What was the adjustment against the run in the second half?
Yeah, Coach James, our defensive coordinator, did a great job of just plugging the holes with linebackers and our defensive line, moving them around a little bit instead of keeping them stationary. We moved them. They were sort of reading our techniques and taking advantage of that in their run game, so we were able to move around a little bit and get guys in position to make big plays, and they did.
Raheem Stanley has become one of the most dominant defensive linemen in the conference this season. What has really been the key to his season?
I think it's just his attitude. He's ready to play every game. He comes out ready to work and practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and just gets himself prepared each and every week. And he's in great physical condition. He's only about 295 pounds right now, which is down about 20 pounds from where he usually plays. And, he's really athletic now, and he's able to get through an entire game, 4 quarters, whereas before he had to be subbed in and out. So I think that's helping him.
Right, and in this first highlight clip, we actually get a great view of how dominant Raheem has been this season. So break us down a little bit what Raheem does on this play.
Well, I mean, he's just, he's such a powerful guy. They're trying to block him one-on-one, and, that's not going to happen. He takes the inside charge and, just is able to sack Suazo here and put us in great position defensively here. As you can see, they're gonna post him up with that left guard and just try to block him with that guy, and Raheem just takes an inside move and he accelerates to the quarterback. For big guys, he's got great acceleration.
Yeah, that was just such an impressive show right there. I mean, Chris Ruffin and Josh Smart are your team's 2 leading receivers, though when you think of your team's wide receivers, you tend to think of Demetrius Washington Ellison and Jason Thompson, 2 really big targets that are actually your starters. What do you think makes Ruffin and Smart so good?
Well, Ruffin, both of them are extremely intelligent football players. They're very hard workers. They're attention to detail guys, as well as the rest of those guys are as well. But they're just battlers. You know, Chris and Josh do a lot of dirty work underneath and over the top in the middle of the coverage, where Jason and Demetrius work from the outside. So that's why sometimes you lose them, but they're big time playmakers for our offense.
Right, and in the second highlight clip, we see Chris Ruffin becoming such a more playmaker that we haven't really seen from him. He's more of an underneath guy, but in this scenario here, you get him running down the middle of the field.
Yeah, we stayed in our 2 tight end personnel here, which made them balance up defensively. We knew we would have the double move by Chris. He starts running the outcut there and then breaks back to the middle. We had a feeling with Chris's speed on their safeties that the middle of the field open, that Ryan would be able to stick it in there, and he certainly did. Ryan makes a great throw, hits him on the run, and I think in different conditions probably accelerates to the end zone, but a little tight in the cold weather.
Well, you've now gotten through the toughest part of your schedule, where you played 4 opponents in 4 weeks that we all expected to be in competition for the NE10 championship. You beat Southern Connecticut, then American International, then Bentley, and now Merrimack. What have you learned from your team in the last 4 weeks?
We've learned that we can play against some of the best teams in our conference, obviously, and win. We've learned that we can come from behind. We can hold leads. We can run the football, and offensively, we can do a great job of being on time. We haven't turned the ball over very much. We've done a really good job with that. And to me, the hardest part of our schedule is coming up these next 2 games, because we need to finish unlike we did last year.
In this next highlight, we get another great example of Jason Thompson and just how dangerous he is, both as a speed threat and in the red zone. So walk us through this play here.
This is a critical play in the game. It's 3rd and 9, and I believe we're down here still 4 points, and the man-to-man coverage on Jay down the middle of the field, and there's not many teams that are going to have a guy that can cover him. 6'4", and he runs as good as any little guy, and just a great explosive play for us, and puts us in great position to Mike scored on the next play.
In this game, we saw more of Scott Lowry at inside linebacker. Why was that?
Just the way it worked out. Those guys usually play a lot, but Scott just seemed to, be playing really well in the second half. Cody got a little shoulder ding, and Scott was just playing really well, so we just let him play.
Right, Scott's been really good against the run this season. It seems like he's one of those guys that's really gotten better since week 1 against Westchester. Yeah,
he's gotten better in the last 2 years he's been here. Wasn't really a great run defender before, more of a finesse guy, and he's really gotten himself to a position where we can really count on him to stop the run in there.
Both of your defensive ends, Rob Hill and Tom Hurd, spent a lot of time in Merrimack's backfield in this game. So talk about the impact that they have on your defense every single week.
Well, just tremendous speed, perseverance. Those guys are just tremendous battlers. They're just going to battle guys, and they have a tremendous will to win each individual rep, and that's why it's really tough to block them. I don't care who it is and how good they are. Those guys are going to make plays because they just have a will to do it.
Right, and in this highlight clip, we see Rob Hill with that incredible perseverance getting up the field against a tough tackle.
Yeah, it's just a great play by Rob, individual effort. It's one-on-one. He just pushes through the shoulder, gets a piece of Suazo's hand, and that's a big turnover in the game. Allows us to get 7 points off of it and put us in position here going into the halftime to be, at that time it was 21-10. It allowed us to get within 4 points of them.
Right, I was really impressed with your pass rush again this week, and in this final highlight clip, we really see Tom Hurd get up the field and a couple of guys just really push into the pocket. Really thought your defensive line held a huge advantage this week.
Yeah, I think one of the advantages we've had is to have the speed and a push up the middle by the 2 big guys, and not really allow those guys to go anywhere. And I think this is Raheem, Tom pushing from the right, Rob pushing from the left, and Raheem just coming right up the middle. And they're double teaming Scott Schultz, which is allowing those guys to get one-on-one blocks.
Boy, that's just another one-on-one matchup with Raheem Stanley. Do you feel like he can get away, that a lot of teams can get away with one-on-one matchups against him?
We can. I know that. I think we got a pretty good offensive line. So teams are going to struggle to block him. No question about it.
This Saturday, you'll honor your seniors in their final home regular season game against Pace. The seniors, Charlie Hatchett, Rob Hill, Desmond Anderson, Scott Schultz, Cody Wallace, Chris Ruffin, and John Irwin. Talk about what this class has brought to your program.
Oh, just a tremendous group of young people. I mean, they do a great job in the classroom, great job of community service. They've really done a great job of putting UNH football back on the map, and we certainly owe them a lot, and we want to get the stands packed and make it feel like a really special day for them in their last home game.
This Saturday, you welcome in the Pace University Setters. What do you expect this Saturday's game to be like?
Well, Pace is a young team. You know, they're playing a lot of freshmen on both sides of the ball. You know, new coach. He's only been there 1 year. This is his second season, and you know, he's just trying to get his guys out there. And you know, they're well coached. They have a good plan. They're just really young right now, and they're making those freshman mistakes. And so we're going to have to really put a lot of pressure on them to make sure that they can execute what they need to do. And you know, our guys, this is a big week for them. You know, they don't forget very easily what happened last year at the end of the year. So they're going to be ready to go this week.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for your time. Good luck this Saturday against Pace.
Thanks for having me.
After this brief timeout, we'll honor our Student Athlete of the Week. This is the Charlie's Cavalry Coaches Show.
Take
Yeah, just for a second.